Good morning, Wall Street winners. It is Tuesday, April the 29th. And if you're from Canada or interested in Canadian politics, you will know that Mark Carney and the Liberal Party won a fourth term in office. So, congratulations to Mark Carney and congratulations to President Trump for orchestrating a Liberal win for a country who is adamant about keeping out of other countries' elections and their own election manipulation. They certainly did a phenomenal job at getting involved in ours and convincing our citizens to vote Liberal again and support the Liberal Party for another 4 years. Hopefully, we'll see some great results out of our new prime minister that will disappoint President Trump and strong negotiations around tariffs and a stronger economy in Canada as a whole. All of that remaining to be seen. In terms of what's going on in the markets, it's really not very different from a narrative perspective than any other day. It's still concerns around tariffs and shipments from China being reduced and shortages potentially on the shelves, the likelihood of a recession or stagflation, changes in current minimal changes to the currency market right now. Apparently, there are deals being negotiated in tremendous volume behind the scenes, which I believe is completely misleading. We can see as we head into the morning session, we basically are flat across the board, with the exception of the Dow, which is up a 0.37 or 150 points. Flip over to the Yahoo Finance app, and what you're going to see here is crude oil is off down at 61 a barrel, off $1. So that's again moving quite a lot, quite volatile. We've got in health and retail mostly a mixed bag here. I mean, healthcare is up, retail is mixed up and down, not by a tremendous amount. So it's kind of flat. You've got JB Hunt, which was down $3 or $4 earlier in the morning session. It is now down 50 cents. So it is off. So transport's going to get hit with shipments being down, coming in from overseas ports. And then we get into the oil sector, and it's a bit of a mixed bag, but mostly green on the screen. Valero was up $3 earlier this morning. It's now down 15 cents with about 34 minutes to the open. And you can see crude is off a buck. So I'd expect all oil will probably go lower today, even if it's in the green now, in any case, with crude off. And then we get into financials, and financials are mostly in the red, but it is a mix here, and they're pretty close to even if they are in the red. So just scrolling through, we've got on semi, which announces in 6 days. It's off $1, which is significant percentage wise in comparison to some of the others. The big movers this week, or potential movers, will be Meta and Amazon and Microsoft and Apple, which all announced this week. So you've got 2 days to Amazon earnings. It's off slightly going into the morning session. Tesla continues to rise and go against all known aspects of reality with poor financials and a poor future outlook. Auto sector getting hit hard across the board, consumers not spending as much, and yet this is a company that continues to go up in value. Mind-boggling. You've got Meta, which should report some good earnings based on from ad revenue, based on what Google reported. It's off $3 in the morning session. I think it's going to be positive today, but it is down and negative today. You've got Netflix, which is now above 1,010, and it is off $5 in the pre-market. But I mean, there's a rock star of a company with some extremely solid financial results coming out this quarter. Nvidia is off, even though everybody's still making their capital expenditures in AI. So again, a bit of a noggin scratcher. And then you've got Google. Google had fabulous results, and it's down below where it closed before those results. So not a lot is making any sense right now, other than to say that the narrative is institutional investors are not buying in. They're not looking at this as a dip. Retail investors are. It's kind of the opposite of the norm, and you just have to be very careful because we don't know what's going to come out during this 90-day period around tariffs. It does appear that Trump's going to pull back on these tariffs, except maybe with China, but we really don't know. And that uncertainty is leading to skepticism, volatility to a lesser extent. I mean, yes, the markets are volatile. It's not reflected in the VIX, which is really strange. And then we get into financials, and financials look like they're going to have a pretty green and positive day across the board. SoFi announced this morning, and they are up fairly significantly, 7% in the early market. Suggested this week that that would be one of the ones that did well, and sure enough, it did. So whether it can maintain that upward trajectory and momentum remains to be seen, but it got a nice lift on some positive earnings this morning. And we've got Visa coming out at the end of the day today. So that's where we are. Good luck in your trades. If you like the videos, please hit the like and